Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. So I have a pretty big stack, actually, of these Cook's Illustrated magazines, and I kind of went through and grabbed some that are from the September, October months, and I thought maybe we could pick one here to flip through and just see what we see. So this one is September, October of 2011. And in this one, they have a weeknight roast chicken, pork loin, 25 tips for improving flavors, vegetable lasagna we just made, testing cutting boards. Okay, that's a maybe. There's some tape on here. I don't know. This one is from September, October of 2014. And the front is somebody used it as a cutting mat or something. Grilled fish tacos, mahogany chicken, broiled pork tenderloin. This one had pot roasted pork loin. I guess they think that's a fall thing. Testing mixing bowls. Cheaper is better. Testing mixing. That's a maybe. Okay. This one, September, October of 2015. 15-minute grilled country ribs. I don't think I like country ribs too much. Too fatty. Super flaky biscuits. Nah, I don't want to do that. Too much work. September, October of 2009. Steak tips with gravy. Modern chicken and dumplings. Oh, that's something we could make one time. I do like to make a chicken and dumpling. my own, you know. I don't follow recipes. I just make it. I just make stuff up. So, like, purist would probably be like, that is not a chicken and dumpling. California olive oils. Best Italian meat sauce. How to brew perfect coffee. I would look at this, but I feel like I looked at it not very long ago. Great beef kebab, super crispy fried chicken, slow roasted pork. Look, pork is definitely, oh, by the way, this is from 2010. Weeknight chicken pot pie. All right, let's go with this one because I'm curious about their testing mixing bowls. Cheaper is better. Tell me more. Is it too much brightness? I guess that's okay. All right. So let's see what we have. Mother Dearest. That's the editorial thing. Okay, we'll skip that. Notes from readers. Making stock with skin on onions. Yeah, I do that sometimes. My grandmother always left the skin on her onions. I take like the, most outer layer off in case there's any nasty stuff on there, but to determine what effect onion skins might have on 2 batches of simple chicken stock, one with peeled chopped onions and the other with onions we chopped and added straight to the pot, papery skin and all. The 2 stocks looked quite similar as they cooked, but when they were strained, we noticed a marked difference in appearance. The stock made without skins was pale yellow, while the stock made with skins had an appealingly deep golden brown color. But the difference turned out to be superficial. Tasters agree that both stocks tasted virtually identical. That's interesting. Yeah, sometimes I leave the skins on. I wonder if that's why sometimes when you buy boxed broth, some of them are like really dark yellow and some of them are like almost look like water, but they'll still taste good. I wonder if that's why. Maybe some of them use skins. Browning salted butter. I just always use salted butter. So, ammonia, odors, and cheese. Ew. I unwrapped a recently purchased wheel of brie, and it smelled like ammonia. They say air it out. If the ammonia smell persists after the cheese has aired for an hour, discard it. Okay, baking with fresh pumpkin. Yeah, I know people do that. I've never really managed that. Baking recipes usually call for canned pumpkin, but I've received fresh pumpkin in my community support agriculture share. Wow. Oh, like they gave her a whole pumpkin. Okay, well. Anyway, okay. Blue ginger. Why does fresh ginger sometimes have a blue-gray color? I don't know that I've ever seen that. We've noticed that too. After conferring with our science editor, we learned that when ginger is stored for a long period of time in a cold environment, it becomes less acidic. Oh, okay. Artichokes and wine. Wine can taste oddly sweet and one-dimensional when I drink it with dishes that include artichokes. Okay. I assume it's the acidity. I'm looking to see if I can answer this super fast. They had washed away the highly acidic dry wine if you want to taste it more. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Converting layer cakes to bundt. I feel like bundt cakes were so popular, like in the 70s and 80s. And you used to make them, they even had a boxed one like this, and it would have pudding in the center. Oh gosh, that was delicious. What was that called? I can't remember. It was so good. Anyway, I love pull apart cloverleaf rolls and recall a tool that saves the trouble of shaping by hand. Have you heard of such an item? Oh. So they have this little tool. You know what? I think in my kit for the, what do you call that stuff? The kinetic sand. There's a tool just like that. I have baked bread, but it's not something I do. Takes time. Quick pour boxed broth. This is quick tips from readers. Sometimes they're interesting. A lot of times they're really silly. But let's see what the readers' quick tips are. What does this one say? When she's using an entire carton of boxed broth, Ashley Ratchford of Roxbury, Mass. Speeds the usual slow glug of the broth with this trick. Okay. She opens the spout and then pokes a hole in the bottom so that you don't have the pressure. Okay. It's not that big of a deal, Ashley. Sorry, that was mean. All right, makeshift bread slicing. Had trouble cutting evenly thick slices of homemade sandwich bread until she arrived at this tip. Let the loaf cool on its side on an oven rack. The rack's bars leave subtle vertical indentations that act as a template for evenly spaced slices. Boy, they'd be thick slices, though, wouldn't they? Okay. Getting a grip on fresh corn prep. Bart of Edmonton, Oklahoma, has found an easy way to remove the fine hairs from fresh corn with a silicone pot holder. By rubbing the grippy mat around the shucked ear from one end to the other, he loosens and grabs the silky strands. Well, that's kind of interesting. You know what I do? Should I save it for when I show you? No, I'll tell you. This is really good. You take the full ear of corn completely with the husk on it and the everything. Put it in water, you don't even have to do this, but I do it. Put it in water for an hour, or just put it up to your faucet and let the water get inside of just pour it down the top so it gets a little wet. And then throw it on your grill. And while you cook everything else, just kind of roll them on your grill. And they can be on there for, 15 to 30 minutes, and it still seems to work fine. And then when you take the brown, it'll be blackened on the outside, you peel that back, and all the silky stuff is just gone. And it's delicious. And then rub it in some butter and put a little, salt seasoning. It's good. Anyway, okay. Homemade wine stain removal. Combine equal parts hydrogen peroxide and dish detergent. See, this is all from before TikTok gave you all the little tips. Stand-in strainer. She's using a coffee filter. Improvised egg cups. There's something people don't use anymore. When I was a kid, we had these little egg cups that matched our orange juice pitcher and little orange juice cups. I think it did. I think it all went together. But anyway, they would hold a hard-boiled egg, and so you'd really soft boil an egg, and then take the shell off, and you put it in the cup, and then you eat it with a spoon, and the yolk's all liquidy, and you could dip your toast in it, dip your eggs. You just don't see that anymore. Anyway, they're using a shot glass. Super-sized funnel. What is this saying? A sturdy plastic gallon jug. After cutting below the handle to remove the bottom, she upturns the top to use as the funnel and holds it steady with the jugging. What? She's draining. I have no idea what's happening there. Okay. I don't really. Easier trash can liner. What is she drilling? When you're fitting a trash can with a new garbage bag, air often becomes trapped inside the can. It does. I do have that problem. I mean, you just make a little hole at the top, but what? To equalize the air pressure, Scott Mueller of Montclair, New Jersey, drills 3 1/4-inch even-spaced holes, 2 inches up from the bottom of the can, and 1 in the center of the can. What? I might just have to do that. Just to do it. I don't know. What are we doing with our Dutch oven? Storing it, hanging on the wall. Okay. Build a timer into your coffee maker. Oh. So he can start it when he goes to bed. Okay, I don't need it. Handy weight chart. Portland sometimes forgets to tear his digital scale. Okay, it's not many people in the U.S. use digital scales, I guess. Burn blocker. After burning her hand one too many times on her electric stove's burner. Why? Marie of Kintnersville, PA, came up with a solution. She keeps a kettle on the stove and places it over the hot burner after to shield the surface. Why is she burning her hand on her burner? What? I'm so confused. I had a cousin come to my house once when I had a flat, what do they call those? Like a, a flat top electric stove. There's a name for that, but I can't think of it. But anyway, this was many years ago. And it said, it had a red light that would come on and say hot. And you know how like the flat burners will turn red when you're cooking, but then when you turn them off, it'll stay hot, but they're not red. And, she was a grown woman, like with college age kids, like grown. And she goes, well, why does it say hot? It's not hot. And she puts her hand right on it. And I'm like, what? Stop. And she burned her hand. That's my story. She's an educated woman. Very strange. Better broiled pork tenderloin. The key to pork tenderloin is to cook it enough, but not too much. That's all there is to it. Look, see, they agree. Avoid overcooking. As the roast rests, their internal temperature rises 10 to 15 degrees. I got 2 things to say about that. They always say that, but I don't know. If you don't cook it to temp, I feel like a lot of times it never gets there. And I don't know if that's because I live in a cold climate and it cools off too quick or what. But I've never had one like overcook because of cooking it to temp. Do you know what I'm saying? So like if you put tinfoil over it, it keeps it moist. I just don't know about this. You have to be pretty good at cooking said that. Maybe it's also because I'm always like hungry and I go, okay, rested long enough. The idea behind resting is it lets the juices settle. So when you cut it, the juices don't all run out. I don't know. All right. I have undercooked many a pork loin, letting it rest like this. I'm like weird about pork. Like I want it to be white all the way through. And I end up cutting it and then having to put it back in the pan and kind of sear it on either side to cook it more. Anyway, okay. It's fine. Getting a broiled or work for pork tenderloin. So they're making a pork tenderloin. We prefer natural pork, but if you use enhanced pork injected with a salt solution. Oh yeah, some meats you can look on the packaging and it'll say injected with like salt or whatever, and then you might want to pull back on your salt that you put on it because sometimes they'll be kind of salty, like especially if you're going to make a gravy with the juices. Sun-dried tomato basil salsa. What do they say? Sun-dried tomato, fresh basil, parsley, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and shallots. So salsa, not like spicy salsa. Okay, rice and lentils with crispy onion. I bet that's tasty. All right. A guy who's Italian from Italy told me how to say this word after watching one of my videos. And I forgot. Tagliatelle. Is that right? With artichokes. Yum. I like artichokes, but I feel like a lot of people don't really care for them. So you have to be a little careful when you put those in. Make sure you're with people who like them. Pasta paired with artichoke hearts is an Italian favorite. What do they say here? Avoid canned and frozen. Go for jarred, preferably small. Yeah, the baby artichokes are kind of yummy. Choosing processed artichoke hearts is like looking for twigs in a forest. There are so many kinds. How can you possibly pick? Our first step was to eliminate the marinated kind. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times they put almost like Italian dressing on them, and that doesn't taste good. Since we prefer to control our seasonings, me too, whether frozen or packed in water, in jars or cans, quartered hearts tended to taste waterlogged. Yeah. The next category was whole canned hearts. These also tended to be big with leathery outer leaves. Yeah, I don't like that. When you get a leaf and it's like you chew it. Ah, my coffee's cold. Dang it. In a tasting of 3 national products, we found all were perfectly acceptable. But they like that one best. Okay, well. It's interesting they say not frozen. I've never tried the frozen ones. Really good fish tacos. I think I make a good fish taco. What are they using? Snapper. I've been using, just because at Trader Joe's it's so cheap, they have a pack of tilapia. I know it's, people say, that's trash fish, whatever. But it's like $4 for enough to feed the family, you know what I mean? So I do tilapia with just tons of like blackening type seasoning, like really spicy seasoning. And then I'd make a kind of like a mango cabbage slaw with like lime juice and not mayonnaise-y slaw, like a, vinegary. What is the word I'm looking for? I think I put like ginger in it. Anyway, put that on there and maybe an avocado. That's pretty tasty. On either, I like a corn tortilla, but my son likes the whole wheat ones, so I use those sometimes. Okay. What are their spices? Chili, ancho chili powder, chipotle chili powder, dried oregano, ground coriander, garlic cloves, tomato paste, orange juice, lime juice, skinless swordfish steaks. I don't do swordfish because I think it has a lot of mercury and stuff in it. Pineapple, jalapeno, corn tortillas. Yeah, that's what I do. I do a slaw that's like cabbage, mango, jalapeno. Actually, there's one you can buy at Trader Joe's. Sometimes they have it. That you can just use that. Anyway, okay. Perfecting carne asada, super thin, well-charred steak. Define this Mexican favorite. To deliver maximum char as well as tender meat, we created an unusual grill setup. Oh, did you? Make a foil collar by cutting the bottom out of an aluminum roasting pan. Oh, they're using coals. Yeah, I don't use coals. I have a gas grill. I do have a charcoal grill, actually, but it's too much work. Concentrating the charcoal directly under the steaks using an aluminum roasting pan was the first step towards getting a really hot fire. So they put all the charcoal in this pan. Well, here's what's important, I think. Cooking most steaks to 125 degrees or medium rare delivers the juiciest, most tender results. But skirt steak is one exception. Yeah. Okay, when a piece of beef is heated, its muscle, these are the muscle fibers, shrink in width, separating them from one another and making them easier to chew. For cuts like strip steak, which have comparatively thin fibers, the amount of shrinking and thus tenderizing that occurs when the meat is cooked to 125 is sufficient. But skirt steak has wider muscle fibers that need to shrink further and thus require cooking to 130 degrees before they're acceptable. It's interesting. I have had skirt steak that was delicious, and I've had some that was not delicious. But you have to cook it a little bit longer, I think, and then make sure you cut against the grain so that you get these fibers cut up. Red chili salsa. What do they got? Dried guajillo chilies. I don't even know what that is. Fire roasted diced tomatoes, water, salt, garlic, clove, vinegar, oregano, pepper, clove, and cumin. What? Look, they have a recipe for, oops, sorry guys, refried beans, 2 slices of bacon, 1 small onion, 2 garlic cloves, 1 can of pinto beans, and a 1/4 cup of water and salt. Crazy. I've never tried that. I mean, I have made refried beans, but not with bacon. I just take a can of beans and smash them. The science of onions. So when you cook, you want like a Spanish onion or a yellow onion, and then for like just eating raw, like red or sweet onion are better, I do believe. Do keep them dry. Don't store with potatoes. Don't store with potatoes. That's good to know. I think a lot of people do that because your dry storage is all in one spot. Don't eat the sprout. Do cover your eyes. They say wear special ski, swim, or specialty onion goggles. Do light a flame. Cutting an onion near a candle or a lit gas burner isn't as effective as covering your eyes, but we found that it does help. Really? Wow. Okay. Prepping and cutting. Avoid using an onion's core in raw applications. The middle right here. Okay. For fuller, more complex flavor in cooked applications, cut onions finely. For milder flavor in raw applications, slice onions with the grain. Yeah, so that way. For even milder flavor, give them a soak. Yeah, that's what a lot of restaurants, when they use red onions, they cut them and then they put all of them into a thing of water and then drain it and use it for salads, and that kind of makes them a little more mild. Beware of cutting onions in advance. For tenderness and even seasoning, salt onions during, not after cooking. To boost meaty taste, cook onions in water. Okay. For a sweeter and more complex flavor, cook your onions slow and low. Oh my God. To just make like caramelized onions, I could make a whole bag of onions and caramelize them until they're like brown and eat those for a week. It's so good. Roasted fruit dessert. Authentic baguettes at home. That looks yummy. Those. Oh my God, I can't speak. These air holes look a little bit big to me. Maybe not. Maybe that's how it should look. I don't know. This is all baguette. Mahogany chicken thighs. What does that mean? It's like iced coffee. Chicken thighs can contain unappetizing pockets of fat and sinew. Ugh. But what if you could turn those liabilities into texture-enhancing assets and get crispy skins too? I love a chicken thigh, but my husband does not like them. So I always have to do like a chicken thigh and a little chicken tender or something for him. All right. For the best results, what are they doing? Okay, water, soy sauce, dry sherry, sugar, molasses, white vinegar, bone-in chicken thighs, a piece of ginger, 6 garlic cloves, and cornstarch. Okay, so they're basically the molasses, the sherry. They're putting like a sugary layer almost on it to help it brown. And the sherry probably helps it dry it out a little bit, and that's what gets it crispy. That would be my guess on that. Anyway, okay. Fresh corn side dishes. Sauteed corn with cherry tomatoes, ricotta salata, and basil. Sauteed corn with bacon and leeks. Okay. Perfect Latin flan. Flan. The cousin to creme caramel boasts a denser, sweeter profile with rich toffee-like flavor. I love it. I love it. I don't make it, but I eat it when I'm out. Although I had a girlfriend one time who was from Guatemala. Wow, my brain went. And she used to just get a can of sweetened condensed milk. I can't remember how I think she opened it and then put it into a pan of boiling water. Like covered it. Maybe she didn't even open it. But anyway, I don't want to say whether she did or not. Look it up because I'd hate for it to explode. But I think maybe she didn't open it. And then she'd put it in boiling water for a long time. I forget. And then open it and just put it out. And it would be like this. It would have like caramelized. Yummy. Okay. Why a good mixing bowl matters. The most basic of the cooking equipment might not seem worthy of scrutiny until you have one that wobbles when you whisk, slips in your hand, or traps food in its crevices. Yeah, that sounds crevices. All right, let's see. Here's their testing. So they did performance, ease of use, and durability. For the stainless steel bowls, they highly recommend Vollrath, Vollrath, economy stainless steel mixing bowls. Oh, they are inexpensive. Look, sizes tested 1.5 quart for $2.90, a 3 quart for $4.50. And they gave this 3 stars, their highest rating all the way across. The broad, shallow shape of these inexpensive bowls put food within easy reach and allow for wide turns of a spatula. These were also lightest bowls in the lineup. The combined weight of all 3 that we tested was less than 1.5 pounds, allowing us to comfortably lift, scrape, and pour. I'm going to look into these. Where do you buy them? I'm going to check it out. If I find them, I'll try to stick a link. But this is from 2014, so who knows if they're still around. Cuisinart, a set of 3 stainless steel mixing bowls. These are $30 for a 3-bowl set. And these would be, let's see, 4, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13. These would be $14 for a 3-bowl set. So these are much less expensive. And they say the Cuisinart, they give it, though their relatively tall and narrow build made it a little challenging for shorter testers to access their contents. What? These bowls were lightweight and sported a generous rim, features that made them easy to grasp and hold. Yeah, I don't usually like bowls that are kind of shallow like this, just because I feel like I like them more tall, but I don't know. Maybe I'd like these. And then, not recommended, guys. Not recommended are the OXO. Is that how you say that? Good Grips stainless steel mixing bowls. Uh-oh. Apart from having wide rims, these bowls were not user-friendly and certainly not worth the high price. How much are they? $60 for 3 bowls. That's a lot. Their small santoprene-coated bases caused them to spin and almost tip over as we mixed. Well, that's terrible. Plus, the company does not recommend using them in a double boiler. Yeah, I don't like that. Lest the exterior plastic coating come in contact with the pot and overheat. That's something else sometimes, I don't like use a double boiler, but I'll take my metal bowl and put it right over some water to heat something up. So yeah, that would be a problem. Glass bowls. I think I actually have these. I don't even remember where I got them now, but Pyrex Smart Essential Mixing Bowls get the highest rating. And those are nice because they have the lids. Arc International 10-piece stackable. Look, the Pyrex are $13 for 4. This one you get 10 for $29. Yeah, somehow I have these, and mine have like these green lids. And what I mostly use them for is when my one son comes over for dinner, I pack him up like all the leftovers and put the lid on it and send it with him. Duralex LYS Live Stackable Clear Bowls are not recommended. Ooh, 1 star. Ooh, these are really bad. These are the ones my sister has. Anchor Hocking Mixing Bowl with red plastic lids. They only give those a 0.5 star. Here's the list if you want to see. It says, as if the weight of these hefty bowls didn't make them challenging enough to handle, their shallow collars barely helped with gripping. Well, I'll tell you what I don't like about them, I think, is their lids are hard to put on. The base developed hairline cracks during the drop test. Oh, they dropped them. That's funny. I think my sister has these and I don't like them. All right. Supermarket prosciutto. They recommend Volpe. I don't know that. And then Del Duca is the best buy. What do they not recommend? Do they have one they don't recommend? Okay, not recommend Applegate. Oh, those are the, like, supposed to be more natural or something. Columbus. This is one of the brands they sell at Trader Joe's, I think. And Dietz and Watson. Don't get that, as they say. They like this one. I think they have this one at Trader Joe's too. Soterio. I don't really eat it very much, but one of my sons loves it. So when I'm at Trader Joe's, they have Trader Joe's branded. It's like their own brand. I get that one. It's good. Kitchen notes. Cooking frozen steaks. I cook frozen steaks. I have been known to do that. Conventional wisdom holds that frozen steaks should be thawed before cooking, but we wondered if steaks could be cooked straight from the freezer. Did you just hear my stomach growl? I'm like, steak. I haven't eaten yet today. Boop, boop, boop. Not surprisingly, the frozen steaks took longer to finish cooking through in the oven, 18 to 20 minutes. What was surprising was that the frozen steaks actually browned in the skillet just as well as, and in the same amount of time as, the thawed steaks. Furthermore, they had thinner bands of gray, overcooked meat directly under the crust. So this is cooked straight from the freezer. And this is frozen, thawed, and then cooked. A frozen steak is less prone to overcook around the perimeter during searing. A steak that goes into the pan warmer will overcook more around its perimeter. I mean, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? They both look all right. Okay. For better coconut milk, make your own. Giving steaks a garlic boost. Mixing minced garlic into a steak rub might seem a logical way to incorporate that flavor. But when the garlic in our Mexican-style grilled steak burned, we came up with an alternative approach, treating the steak like bruschetta. Rubbing a smashed garlic clove over the grilled meat surface. Okay, so you finish grilling it, and then, I don't know if you guys remember, I made bruschetta one time. Slice the garlic and rub it on the steak. Yeah, sounds good. Anything else here? Equipment corner. Spiral slicer. Pop over pans. Homemade seltzer maker. That was popular in 2014, wasn't it? Lid pocket. It's for like a slow cooker, so you can put your lid on it so it doesn't drip all over. That's kind of interesting, actually. A burger press. You could just use a pan. I just wrap a little, wax paper on pan, or use a clean pan and just all right. So there you go. That is that, I guess. What do they have pictures of? Some of the things they made. There's the baguette. Roasted pears with apricots and pistachios. Rice and lentils with crispy onions. I have a Mediterranean restaurant near me that makes this. I forget what they call it, but it's really good, so I'll just eat it there. I'm remembering tagliatelle with artichokes and olive oil. Mahogany chicken thighs, grilled fish taco, perfect Latin flan, sauteed corn with bacon and leeks, Mexican style grilled steak, and broiled pork tenderloins. That actually does look kind of good, doesn't it? And on the back they have pictures of specialty pears. You know, I don't eat pears. I don't even remember the last time I had a pear. I think the last time I had one, it was like a regular, I don't know what you call them, pear. My mom used to like them. And it made my mouth so, like, itchy and tender. I was like, I don't ever, and that was when I was a little kid. And so I don't think I've ever eaten one again. So I don't know. Maybe I have an allergy to them. I don't know. I don't. All right. Well, there you go. There's a leek on the front. They call it Cook's Illustrated, but there aren't really a whole ton of illustrations. The front cover. I guess that's an illustration.